This is not working at all. Is there nothing? Can anybody hear me? Can anybody see me? Okay, we're back. The awesomeness that is Smoley came in and the stream wasn't just ready for it then. Nice. So yeah, welcome in, harbinger of crashes. No, Twitch is twitchy. We all know that. That happens. Welcome in. You were saying something. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is where we're at so far. And we're not even halfway. Actually, I don't know how far in the project we are. It's done when it's done. That's just how it is. No, it did definitely not look at this when it started. You are correct. It was very white and styrofoamy. Oh yeah, this side. This side. Almost forgot this side. Now, some acrylic paints and a bit of patience. And you can do magical stuff. I also did the easy choice for myself, because I choose to make a necromunda thing, which means it's going to be weathered to hell and back, and weathering things is slightly my specialty. Yeah, tomorrow's sausage needs something to do as well. That is the absolute right way. Now, I don't have a Discord server yet. I'm working actually on setting up channels to have one, just in case people would be interested. But if you're using Discord, or you can shoot me a message here if you want to ask something about streamer stuff. I'm not a super expert in any way, but if I can help out with anything, I'll be happy to do so, because I like helping people. It feels nice. It makes fuzzy feelings. Let's see. Can we see how that affects the surface in camera? Here, this is a very plain gray surface. So I'm very lightly, repeatedly pulling the brush over. Yeah, you can see. So that's the dry brushing. You just very, 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 very gently layer on paint, and that's how you get these good streaks in the end. And then you go in with different colors, and you get it even better, because you get more depth. Yeah, absolutely, you do that. Of course, answers might take a while depending on what time of the day it is for you when you're sending it, I suppose, but you know. That's why you only outsource half of your staff to India, and then you have the rest or wherever, and the rest local, because then you can have customer service 24 hours a day. Also, I guess labor costs are cheaper in India, I suppose. Yeah, so I think we might get the base painting done today, but I don't think we're gonna go get much further. And I mean, on the gaming table, this area, I mean, you can't really see that, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna give all the love to all the places as if they were the focal point of the whole thing. Runs down to this, which runs down to this, which runs down to this. From there we can have some running there. And then more paint and less water. Just trying to get away from the squeaky clean surfaces. They're dirty and dusty, and especially whoa, 3 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, don't try to figure out things when you're tired in general. Usually don't. Either it ends with you saving the world, but most likely it's going to end in some kind of a disaster, I think. So go to sleep. I'll see you around, my friend. I will see you when we are both awake next time. Okay. Now I want to get working on that rust, because now all the pipes should be dry enough. Bring forth the lighter browns. How about light brown? How is that? Yeah, thank you for showing up and hanging around and being awesome as always. Oh, this was a very watered down brown. You too, sleep well. Sleep well. A bit more sparsely. We don't want it to be covered like in a solid layer of different colors, because that doesn't really make sense. Rust is splotchy and stuff. We're gonna really have to go in with a smaller brush here to get this dirt proper. But let's see if I can hold this up, maybe work a bit in a bit weird angle, but just to get you to see a bit more. So a light brown, it's like a little bit reddish orangey in its color. We're just trying to splotch on the paints like rust spots. The same with this one. And this is not with a dry brush. It doesn't matter if the paint even dries thickly, because that just gives you more texture. this pipe needs more dark brown. It's not so dark brown in some places. So we'll get to that as well, I guess. Just jabbing and stippling on some of the light brown. Let's get some more color on the palette. So start with your darkest color, dark brown or even black depending on, and then work your way out. And then on certain areas, depending on what it is that you're doing, you can go back and you can dry brush in some silver colors, like if there's like scratches and people scratch up against that place. Ooh, can we get, yeah, look at this. I don't know how well it translates to you on camera, but from here it looks pretty good. I need more dark in that corner though. We need to reinforce the darkness. And when you're doing this, besides saving your brush, cleaning out all the paint out of your brush is not necessary. Just gonna add a mixture of all the rust colors that you're using anyway. And while we have some more of that, we can just dirty this wall. Oh, the roof part in here has gotten no love at all, people. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Oh, I got a lot of more dark on this. Gonna have to go back with some more orangey or light browns. This is so deep dark in, so I think we're gonna exaggerate. And if I think these are a bit like too orangey. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just gonna go in with the darker brown again, going back and forth until you're happy. And you don't have to limit yourself to 2 colors, obviously. You can just go bananas and go super dark and just a little lighter and then a little lighter and then a little lighter. And then you can, with rust, actual rust, not oxidation, rust, there are colors that you should use, that because that is the colors of iron oxidizing and rusting. But otherwise, when you're doing dirt and stuff, go for a bit of green, go for a bit of yellow, go for a bit of blue. Who knows, whatever spores and stuff it floats around in the air that gets caught up in this in the waters and rains down. Now this is an underhive structure, so I guess there's not so much actual rain, but yeah, dirt usually isn't just one little brown paint. I'm actually gonna go, oh wait, we have red orange, don't we? That's clear. I want red orange. There we go. Some extra fresh, nicely rust. So some of these are looking good and some of them are not. Let's see. You can dust everything down with a dry brush later as well. Oh god, this orange was in dire need of a Dire need of a shake. Oh God, there's nothing left. There's just air bubbles left in this one. Okay, I guess we are going for clear orange then. And the dirt in here can definitely have some oranges in it because of the rust that is running around from the pipes and stuff. So from here the dirt will be a bit more orangey in color maybe. It's not just like dirt, it's also has some of this rusted iron. I really don't like how dirty this wall is. I just over exaggerated it so I can go in with some, I wanted to get in under all the pipes, so I'm gonna go in with some of the grays later and change that up a bit. And here the colors are still a bit wet, and that just works to our advantage. They blend together when you stipple them in like this. As always, if anybody has any comments or if you have any questions about, well, let's try and keep it terrain related today, or scenery related, I guess. If you have made something or making something or whatever and you want to show that off, we are a link friendly chat. As long as you follow the terms of service of Twitch, you are free to post links to your social media with pictures and imagers and whatever where you have pictures. If you want to show some, oh, this one hasn't been rusted at all, not that has either. Go rust. Oh, that turned light already because I had orange in the brush. That's okay. We can work with that as well. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to do this in some kind of a color in the end. But it's all about layering things on and go back and forth, and sometimes just leave it and have a look. We're gonna go in with a little bit of this lighter brown with orange in here because there's rust there, so that it will the running water on the walls from this should be rust colored, and then it also is always good to break up the monotony of just one color. That instantly creates more realism and depth with extremely little work. And then, yeah, this backside has very little. Staining and stuff. We're gonna have to go in with a smaller brush behind these parts later as well, because they are, oh, that's a lot of orange, because they are there's not much color behind there. So maybe I should have put in this pipe as well later, because that's why I'm gonna add most of the small details and stuff that are gonna be here. They're gonna be added afterwards. We have painted the most of it. Just because it's hard to get your brushes in behind things sometimes. Okay, let's bring out the smaller brush. We can take some of this orange and just make ourselves a different light brown here. And we're gonna, under here there would be, well, that's very orangey though. Let's get more brown in there. And then we just wipe out all the paint from the brush, and this with a moist brush can go in. Get some shading done and get some different funky colors going down here. Still too orange. Let's get some lighter brown instead of mixing with the orange. Different sort of warmth on the color works very well. I'm going to add some flesh color to this, just to lighten it up a bit. Yep, actually that's actually what I'm doing, Bone Shooter. I just said it was styrofoam because I didn't want you to feel embarrassed that you couldn't. You don't want too much of this lighter. We want it a little bit here and there. I am actually going to take this brown, the darkest brown, the umber, and mix it in with some black to get darker streaks. More than we're going to use lighter streaks, but a little bit lighter here, a little bit lighter there. Variation is key. It will grow back. I'm not happy with this, how this wall is coming out. No, rip your preconceptions about Vikings. There's nothing that tells you that all Vikings had a lot of hair and beard. That's just what we think. I don't need any strength for my cosplay. I will have faith in Sigmar, so it's okay. Human strength is an illusion anyway. It's all down to the will of Sigmar. I mean, it could be this dirt in here with all this rust, but toning it down a little bit, I think it's gonna work out well. I also need to get a little frog or sculpt one, because I want the frog living in there. Oh gosh. Can you, let's see, okay, yeah, well, you can hardly see it, but in here there's no brown color at all, basically on one part of the pipe on the inside. Nobody has cleaned that corner for like forever, so let's dirty that up properly in there. In my fingernails. You people have some really weird misconceptions about stuff. I'm also amazed that none of you have yet figured out exactly where the power of pixel is. Mwahaha. 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 I'm not a shroom person in this family. By any meaning of that sentence. Oh my god, chat has gone dark. sounds cool. I'm looking forward to see your holder, which I am looking forward to seeing that holder now. If you want to show it, if you get the time to make it. Okay, there's definitely too much dirt in there for my taste. It just steals all the focus. And remember, we're going to add details to this. And do more painting once details are in place. So this is not over yet. I'm talking about those greens, especially at the bottom of houses and constructions. Some green is... of course you can. It doesn't have to be a hyper-realistic sculpture, you know. A shroom is pretty simple, and the frog can just be like something slightly frog-shaped with to like. It doesn't even have to have like hands because they don't have hands. I believe that you can do it. But you should only do it if you really want to. But I'm also kind of wanna like encourage you to explore your frogginess, if you know what I mean. And if you know what I mean, please explain it, because I have no bloody idea what I'm talking about anymore right now. Release thy inner frog. When you have the chance, you have to just get up and grab it. You're welcome. And we can do some filling in some of the streakies with the green mix as well, because why not? Oops, you tagged the wrong person, I think, Bony Bone. Unless I missed the earlier thingy. No, I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you wanted to go, but it sounds like you were talking about the... We're in the frog discussion. And that's another person you should tag then. And it's like not screaming green. I don't know how well the camera picked out. It's a little bit, but it's in real life. Oh, sorry about the camera bump. Sorry about the camera bump again. I just like to bump the camera today, I guess. In the dark corners where you have like fungi things, talking about mushrooms, when you have fungi things growing, definitely add some green into your shadows and dirt. Fungal corners. Yeah, that's the details. Yeah, that's the funny part, isn't it? We haven't added any extra details to this. They just pop out more because there's stuff happening. I might have to gray down a little bit here as well, but yeah, the paint does quite a lot for the look, obviously, but sometimes you can get surprised about how much it can do. Oh, if that's a place that needs some green, if that is not a place that needs some green, let's it can be extra dirty there. It doesn't really matter too much. And in under things we want some of that green, sweet green. Also spores and things that fly around get caught up in things, and where things pool up, where there's like chances for water to gather, you're gonna get algae and other green creaturinos. So let's do a bit more of that. Some very orangey spots up here, and everything that is technically open to nature will also get a lot of spores and stuff and settle and create a green sort of hue. This is an indoors building in a big hive city, which is basically a closed off city, so we might not have to think about that too much, but hello airbrush, we can actually turn you off. We're not going to use all the new paints for Pixel. I will have a look at those later when I am not ruining my stream chat by opening stuff on the pad, if you don't mind. And then we just feather the paints out so we don't get any really sharp edges. Some excessive streaking. Corners get molds and fungi. I mean, if you do this on an alien planet, I guess you could use purples for this as well. The only problem with that is how it reads to people who don't know it's an alien planet. I mean, the people that are in your audience, so to speak. I'm also in no rush to finish this because I can just fill out the whole stream. 31 total. No, because this has to be done by the end of the month for the challenge. That's like the only thing. So I can take my time. Sometimes you have like time issues because you have a client that says I need this done by then, and then you have to live with that. Now I can just put all the time I want in until the deadline, and it's all up to me. I'm getting more. Since I'm gonna go back and do some splotching, some grays and stuff more here, I can just pretty freely greenify a bit in here with the green brown mix that we are currently using. So we're gonna go in and clean that area up. Not so squeaky clean, of course, but we're gonna go in and clean that up for sure. Then we can do some dry brushing, get some small splotches, and if you don't know they're there, you're not gonna register that they are there, but they are going to register into your brain on a subconscious level, and it's gonna make, you might not see the green, but your brain will register that color in there for sure. Oh yeah, that would be nice. What's except delayed shipping, what else are they stupid about? Because with a little bit of luck, I'm gonna get to get myself some Blood Bowl minis soon, and they are cheaper than Games Workshop. But that's also, I mean, it depends on what you're doing. Art, if we're talking like subjectively about art, I mean, we can compare Rembrandt to Picasso if you want to. Both are very known artists, but they are nothing alike in their expression, basically. So big blobs of paint doesn't have to mean it's not worth having. It's not worth it. Art is art. If we're talking about trying to paint like something realistic, well, there are rules to how things look. I mean, you know how people look, and to make it realistically, you have to sort of paint. But well, then you know what you have to work on, I guess. If you're not happy with how things are turning out, you know what to do the horrible thing of practice on. Maybe look things up. I mean, you probably have looked at a billion tutorials and stuff, but maybe it's just also about finding a person that explains things in a way that you understand them. Because even the best teacher can't teach everybody unless they are extremely flexible in their teaching. Because that's not how humans work. So you might simply have just not found the way for you to express the things that you try to express yet. Maybe it's the type of paint, maybe it's the brush, maybe it's your mood. I mean, it can be a million different things, literally a million things. Ooh, this. Oh yeah, I saw someone who built dioramas. They colored the. They made a gravel road, basically like sand and stuff like this, and to color it, they used they took pastel pens and basically shaved off from them and sprinkled it on to make it have the right color, and it looked amazing. That was really cool. But yeah, art is. I mean, I can't draw a human face. I mean, I can. You will understand it's a human face if I draw it, but I'm not gonna get realistic. You're not gonna like, oh, that's that person, or hey, that looks really, realistic, because I have not practiced that enough, basically. But I can do this, and that's another awesome. But I'm also not super interested in painting human faces, like painting a portrait or something. So it doesn't bother me, I guess. Or I lost interest because I thought it was too hard to learn. I'm not sure. But if I wanted to, I'm pretty sure I could sit down and only do that for like forever and then learn how to actually do it properly. But yeah, it can be hard to get things right, but to do this stuff like this, I mean, I have literally had years of practice of painting models and dioramas. I went to bloody school to learn how to make props. We had quite a lot of like how to weather things, because weathering is a very, very important part of any prop making. I mean, this is over the top, slightly super worn out, welcome to Chernobyl style, I guess. But even if you make like a fake gate post, that's a good example, because that's one of the things that I helped weather. So basically they needed a fence, a metal fence, at a place where there was none, so we put up 2 fake pillars that somebody painted to look like brick, like normal red bricks. I walked by them twice before I realized they were painted, by the way. I thought they were brick pillars that were standing there forever, but they weren't. They were fake. But we dirted them down to hell. Especially they were standing on where there was grass, so there's a lot of dirt coming up from the grass. So weathering is not just like I mean, this is really extreme. This is old industrial properties sort of weathering, what you see in abandoned factories and stuff. But weathering can just be a subtle dust coat of something, but because nothing in real life is, unless it's your floor and you just swept it, and even then it's probably not that clean. Sorry. It's not because you're bad at sweeping your floors, it's because that's just the world. Dirt gets everywhere. So I had a shitload of practice. This is not oh, I woke up like this. I was just born with being able to paint rusty things. Practice. They said they had it. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I have heard I have heard people that have heard, basically, I guess, that they can be problematic, and some people swear by their awesomeness, so a little bit curious. Right, let's fix those rusty pipes a bit. No, let's fix the wall behind the rusty pipes a bit first. And then we can start fixing the rusty pipes so they're not just covered in rust. I still want them to read as metal and not just rusty stuff. But first we are going to get our gray color. Well, that's pretty annoying in any case. Let's test another one of our new brushes because I have them. And that is so bright. What happens if we go into the browns over here a bit, maybe? Just get it into it. It's gonna be dirtier in here than on the outside because of no water really getting in here, I guess. Oh, there's still a lot of paint in this brush. It's fantastic. These brushes are pretty damn nice. Thank you for finding these brushes, sweetheart. Because these brushes are pretty nice for this. Just bringing back a little bit more of the gray into the walls here. Not so much on the side wall, just on this wall, because it was reading more like a brown wall than a dirty concrete wall to me. Now it really doesn't. Makes the darkness of the pipes pop out a bit more as well. I'm really happy with this stripe, this running here, by the way. I just want to point out that this is a very pretty part for me. I might look into if I can get them from somewhere else then. If I can get them. It's not even a certain thing yet, so. Some silver, super shiny metal. Super shiny metal time! Because we want to bring some sparklings into this. But just a little to get back that shiny metal feel, but still have a lot of rust on it. Just stippling with very low, very little paint in the brush. Don't want like scratches or anything, I just want like shines between, get that sort of metal feel. We can even dry brush against these a little bit. Just get a hint of metal, and then if this turns out to be too bright, we can always do a wash with like Agrax Earth Shade. There is really very little paint left on this brush, but it does. I don't know if it actually does on camera so much, but it does. Ooh, this piece have broken there. That is pretty. There's a pretty little crack there. I need to dirtification in a little bit. We need some more of that lovely brown. The lovely brown is my brush holder, it seems. Have you had problems with them before, or haven't you ordered from them before maybe? Is this your first element order? This is in itself a piece of art by now. You know, I'm gonna be super famous. I'm gonna like sell these for like $1 million. because I'm gonna be so famous and cool. Aren't those usually just black and white? Or are they actually colored versions of them as well? I don't know. Then, as I mentioned, we're gonna go in with a bit of black. We're gonna make a darky color. We're gonna darkify this brown, so it's slightly. We're browning down the black more than anything, but we want a much darker one to do some filling in, some streaking. Just like a little bit in a few places, not everywhere. Oh, that turned out pretty well in there now. You can see the pipes well, and the wall isn't just a brown mess. I like how that turned out. And then I have to figure out what to paint this bit in. And these, I think we're going to do these grey. We could have probably done them in the same grey actually. I think they might be like some type of concrete, because I don't want to make big metal pipes, more of them. Because it's just going to be more metal bits, and it's just going to be super boring. Yeah, I think we're gonna do with a brown wash on the pipes. They're shining a bit too much for me now. You know, that's the thing, you have to go back and forth between see, because you can't really just make up your mind without having actually seen it. I think it's really hard. So going back and forth and redoing an old version is not bad. It's not bad at all. the oil paints. Now I like this part even more. It's a darker streak in it there. Still a little bit wet, so it's a bit shiny on camera, but yes, we're gonna put some gravel and stuff on top here as well in the end. And yo, Pixel, you have a metallic part here and a pipe here, and they have not been silverified. Why has thou not silverified them? Because the silver brush is full of water, I see. And this is probably walked on, so it probably would be a bit more worn. And the pipes and stuff, this pipe will be a bit, and this will have just a few of the splotches. We're gonna have to figure out what to paint this in though. Should we just do it in like a white? That is just so many. I'll take color suggestions of this part. Alex, color suggestions for 1,000 crowns, please. No, I'm not paying 1,000 crowns for it. So it's this part. We're taking color suggestions on that little this part. Yeah, but not on the whole thing. That's gonna look really, I mean, there's like, that's a bit much. And I'm gonna paint this one in metal in the end, I think. I wasn't sure, but I think that's a metal plate that they have, because it has rivets in the corner, so it's probably a metal bit. Some kind of a warning. I like that, however, to incorporate that somewhere. But we still need a full paint. I want like a whole paint on that one. Like matted red maybe. Could work. I don't know. I'm not too keen on doing. I mean, graffitis. I've seen people do it, but I don't know how much graffiti there is in Necromunda. Because I do want it to fit in with the setting of Warhammer 40k and Necromunda. No, I'm looking for more of a, because that's also a decoration. So I'm looking for a solid color or something for this one. Not how to decorate it. If graffiti could be done, and it could be done like over the whatever base color it's going to be, if that's the case. But right now, what my mind is thinking of, I should say, is good color for it. I mean, what has it been used for? Why is it then colored in some kind of a, yeah. We have some gray left over here. That's good, because I want to stipple down this edge a bit so it's not that sharp. Same with this. I like the warning tape though. would be cool to incorporate somewhere. Maybe a copper metal on this instead. Well, bronze in this case then. Cola and Dr. Pepper mixed. Okay, I am not a pepper fan, so for me it's unthinkable. Oh, that is super shiny metallic. Well, we'll fix that in a moment. I'm gonna go in with a bunch of. Oh, we could actually really go in with some. Oh, damn it! Got gold. Got gold on the concrete. Well, we can fix that. Either we can greenify this a bit and stuff and dull it down, or we could start working with a teal cover so it's actually rusted. Well, oxidized. It's not rusted. It's oxidized. Create a splotch of paint. Just getting most of the metallic paint off the concrete there. Because it is like a separate piece, obviously, getting stuck there. So we need to maybe Pixel, you need to paint it from the underside. Just maybe it has color on both sides. You know, it happens with metals; they have the same color on both sides sometimes, or so I hear. Yeah, working in those like really green, tealy colors that ends up on oxidized copper thingies. Oh my! From afar, this is looking really smashing. To be honest. Oh my, I really like how this side is turning out now. I'm gonna turn this around and then I'm gonna move away back again. Yeah, I like that too. God, I don't want to eat a rat burger anymore because they're gonna be cooked like right in here. Rat burgers are not on my menu anymore. It's on their menu though. Fresh rat burger. Sorry, the other guy has stopped working, so no more calming seller voice dude. He's off for the day. Maybe he's out catching. What was what? Do you have a problem with my accents? Oh, hello everybody. Come and buy your fresh rat burgers. Is it strange to you? Strange to you? But you're from the bloody land of bloody Monty Python. How can that weird sound be strange to you? Oh, I see. So, is someone Mel? No. I have learned a new spell today. Bone Shooter, give me some experience, please. I have learned a new spell. I have learned things in this adventure. Or he likes to just spread the good word. Like talk to everybody so nobody feels excluded. I don't know. Now we get to work on the streaking in here from this bad boy. We can do that with some of these washes as well, giving us yet another color and look on things. Just give a layer of this wonderful Agras earth shade on everything, or most things at least, that are rusty. So that means all the metallic things will have a like slight brown tint to them while still shining metallically, but they won't shine so much. We're using the wash as a filter over the whole thing to bring everything into the same sort of color. The nice thing about this earth shade is since it's a shade or a wash or whatever, it's so thin, so you can just literally brush it on and it's just gonna be semi-transparent thingy. I'm gonna actually build some I'm gonna sculpt some things for this, and I'm gonna put some shrooms in there, because that place just screams I want some shrooms to me. Just blending it into the environment around it a bit. More datification, yes. Because what happens when a thin thing like this dries and you start picking it away again, sucking it up, because how fluids work, fluids have surface tension, right? It's a droplet. It's slightly rounded, right? It's not. It doesn't go like this. It goes like this on the surface, right? Or a slight bit curved out. But that means that you have the edges. They are thin compared to the middle, which means they will start to dry quicker, and that means the pigments in this, well, in any color really, at the edges dry a little faster. And since this takes some time to dry, if you let it dry for say a minute and then you remove it, you're left with pigments around the edges, just like when things run in real life and you get these, like, it's still a bit too wet to see, but you get these sharp lines, outlines, where the streaking has occurred, which is really neat. Neato, super neato. This place here, you need some streaking, love, because this a normal acrylic will you paint it on and it stays there because it's not so thick, but this is more watery, so it all runs down to the bottom. It's a bit darker at the bottom, even on the camera. Yeah, you see that it runs down and it all pools and collects that in that one place. And if we now wait a little bit, we can go in with a damp or dry brush and you can start sucking that up so you don't get too much. But it actually, you can see, I don't know if that's visible on camera, but you can actually see it's filling up again. So if we leave that for a little bit and then we go in and carefully suck up the middle area here, we're gonna get the same kind of super shiny still. I don't know if it's super visible, but this effect we have here with the thicker, darker lines outlining the fluid. And there we go. A bit of a splotchy splotch. And this effect can become quite subtle. And it might, if you don't look at the thing, you might not actually even pick it up. But again, it will make the whole piece come together. Yeah, I don't want this in that metal color anyway. So the question is if we dirty this down, so it just dulls down, or if we do this in something else. I'm not sure yet. It's slightly, I'm looking at it and I'm going, ugh. Not really sure what I want to do with it just now. What I do know is that I want to work a little bit on this one. And a lot on this side, huh? We got a lot of brightness coming through here. Let's just dirty it down with some dark gray to start it off, and then we're gonna have to paint the ground in some kind of a ground color. And I guess raw umber is one of the paints that we're gonna use for that as a base anyway. Since everything is dirtied down with it, that seems slightly logical to me. Yeah, and then with the computer terminal painted and in place here, it's gonna be pretty cool. Pretty cool already, but it's gonna be pretty cooler. Okay, so now I have to make some decisions on this and that. We'll do that one first because I think I want to do it in like a matted red. And that was the actual color red. That's not what I wanted. I wanted my red, carmine red is what I wanted. And I want a brush with a better point. And then we're gonna just add some of this black brown mix and sort of get a darker version there. And then this will also have to be dirtied down more, of course, like everything else. And it's not going to be squeaky clean in the middle of all this. This is going to take a couple of layers of red, I guess. and I'm just mixing this paint on the palette as I go along, so we're gonna get a few different colors, but they are gonna be mixed from the same two colors, so they're gonna be like, it's just gonna be splotchy, basically slightly uneven maybe, which works well for us in this setting. I will go in with another layer once that has, because it's done in my house yesterday. Oh, wife got a new kitchen appliance and went threw the styrofoam out, and I stopped her and took me 20 minutes to explain what I wanted to do. Who the heck is Ah, that is amazing. That is absolutely, that's you do know that there are pictures of it in styrofoam form on Instagram, in case you wanted to, in case you want to have the discussion with someone else sometimes, and just show them quickly. But that was hilarious. Thank you. I really enjoyed that. Oh, I'm gonna go and throw this away now. Nope. Pixel says no. Who's Pixel? Give it to me. Who the heck is Pixel? Is that a valid question? Oh my god. I mean, from her point of view, it obviously is, but from you? Ooh, some streaking here. Look, there's. That's the wrong brush. That's the wrong brush. I want this bad brush for this. It has this crack in the pipe here, so let's do some pipe streaking. There's streaking going on here without permission. We're gonna get some of that red, and we'll do some streaking over here as well. No, that is actually hilarious. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So, have you heard of this Pixel? He likes to try and destroy marriages with discussions. But why don't they stop meeting him? They haven't met him. He's just a guy on the internet, and he's just making people questioning, throwing things away. Well, if you're at home now and she's at home, tell her to come and have a look. Say, she doesn't even say it to her. She can look at you over your shoulder. This is what you want to do with styrofoam. And that's that. Done deal. Ta-da! Or maybe not, I don't know. But I'm a strong believer when explaining things in visual aids. So having a thing and go like, so what do you want to do with that? Something like this. It's like, okay, you actually have a plan. Cool. And I understand. But yeah, asking who the heck Pixel is probably a valid question. Not only in that circumstance. It might if I'm gonna be honest, it might be a pretty valid question in general, I suppose. But honey, Pixel said I shouldn't. You're not married to some Pixel, you're married to me. I can see all sort of hilariousness coming out of a situation like that, actually. Okay. Not completely dry yet, so let's make a decision. I don't want to do teal and try and get this to look like it's actually super corroded, so let's not do it in bronze. Well, let's just do it in a color. I kind of want to find a bit among all my Warhammer stuff, you know, like the side of a tank or something and put there, but I really don't have anything to sacrifice for that. Because that would be cool otherwise. But I definitely want this piece left there because I want this area to be sort of covered up. Oh. But yeah, saying also you might get plus points for the, like taking out some garbage. Maybe she's like, damn, this dude is really starting to like go out with the trash now. You're like, no, 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 no. And then she walks into your hobby room at one day and is like, honey, why is there a whole city in the background here? What did you build this off? Did you pay for this? How much money? No, no, honey, this is what I have done with all the trash you wanted me to throw away. I saved it and I built this. Maybe that can work. I don't know. Still funny as hell. I'm pretty sure I have caused a number of discussions of things even when I'm not around in my life, but that's I think that's my favorite of all the discussions I have ever started. To be honest, because that's just hilarious. Oh look, we got some weird kind of a mark from some brush here. It looks like some kind of a drawing or like something has scraped there. Building terrain is the best way. Oh, that's silver. That's not what I wanted. The best way to build and paint terrain is to find your inner Bob Ross and just boom, crazy, go now, do it all. Oh crap! That means I put some metal. I thought that was grey. Emergency grey session. Weep, 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 weep. I think it's gonna be my new thing, just making weird noises when Mel is around somewhere and she'll just come running and go like, what the hell is going on? That's now a feature of this stream, I think. Pixel making weird noises to see which weird noises summons the Mel. It can be like a whole segment. Okay. we can still ignore that plate for a bit, because now we can paint more on this. Let's use this brush, whatever. Just, I don't want it to become too red, so just not, well, almost like glazing over. It's very bubbly now because I just slapped it together. But of course the air bubbles are going to go away. Just gonna make sure we have this sort of red base to start this off with. I know it's out of camera right now, but that's due to the size of the thing. Figure out a better way to put the camera one day so it's like super far away. Okay, now that's drying, and now I have to do this one. I want to have a plate. I want that place covered with a plate of some kind like that, but I don't know what to do with it right now. What do you want to be? The funniest thing is, I'm not actually the collective person in our family, even though I have a vast collection of styrofoam and weird stuff everywhere by now. I don't think I'm the really collective person in our family anyway. So that's interesting. What do we do with this? Do we paint this like it's a part of something else and then just put it there, like have a color? You know what? Let's paint this in a color. Let's pick a color and paint this in a color, and then we do like, we don't have to use the toothpaste, but kind of like that. So we do shift paint on it, so we can have some metal under. So let's go for the darkest Prussian blue and take it from there, I think. Yeah, I mean, you're collecting, now you're like just collecting like usable stuff. You're not literally collecting things for collecting them. I don't know if you ever really did that, but you have a more refined taste in what's useful, maybe. Is that how we're gonna put it? I don't know. But yeah, absolutely. You have like a sense of it, or what we're gonna call it. I don't know. But hell yeah. I mean, I'm not in any way saying that you shouldn't have collected all the stuff, because we have had so much use from so much of the stuff, so it's hard to argue against usefulness. But it's funny because it might appear when we're talking about like this, oh, made out of scraps and this, and to build that you have to save a lot of scraps. I mean, there's an interesting rundown of scraps in this. I don't even remember which one. It's probably one of my workshop machines that came in this styrofoam packing. Oh yeah, do you remember how this started? Because this is not the original piece that we started with here, if you remember. We started with a much bigger piece, and this was the cut off, and when I saw this I was like, this is awesome, let's do this instead. And it's turning out really awesome. Then, and I'm not gonna change my mind now. Yeah, if we dirty that down and the rust around the corner, yeah, that's gonna be fine. That's one way of seeing it. But the other original part, where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Next. So I saw this part first, and I was all in like, oh, look at this! It's gonna be such a cool factory with a pool and everything there. Do you remember this? Yeah. Okay. And yeah, next scenery thing to do for Necromunda. build out a bit on the backside, or have it like a wall of something with like this whole thingy here, and it's just turn it on the side and it's all of a sudden a totally completely different thing. There's like a walkway up here and everything. That is actually, that is pretty good. That is very, very good to practice all of your brain halves, all two of them. More dropper bottles, okay. Whoa. Hello, they're pretty. I just looked away from it and now I'm looking, because I just looked at like white styrofoam and now I'm looking at this again and I'm like, whoa. When did this happen? And I know the answer is during the last 4.5 hours or so. And I don't think we're gonna be, well, I know we're not gonna be completely finished with the base painting today because we haven't painted these pipes and anything. Oh, let's move the camera back down a bit so you don't get a pixel beard in the camera all the time. And then we will turn it a little bit like that. So pixel movement doesn't fuck up the focus too much. No, we haven't painted the pipes or anything on the back there yet. So that's what, 6 hours to build. We're looking at 6 hours for base painting. We're looking probably for 6 hours for the detail workings. So 18 hours. So, and therein lies the problem with making custom terrain for people and trying to sell it. Because even at the most generous price, this is a, I don't know, what did we say, 18 hours, so yeah, if we're super kind and we for some reason decide to work for 100 crowns an hour, which we don't, but let's say we do, that's 1800 Swedish crowns then. So we're talking 210, 220 US dollars. But probably more, to be honest, and that's at working for sheeps. So building things of this size might not be profitable, but this one is for, so I can play necromunda later when the world is a bit more stable and we dare to meet our friends again, basically. So this isn't for sale, so I don't have to care. Yeah, but it's, however, so volumetrically speaking, this is not gonna be a, I mean, we're gonna have to send this with like DHL or something. This is a big piece. Also, we will have to pack it in something somehow so this doesn't break off during transport. So we need to big some kind of a, probably some kind of hard box around it to ship it, and then like put some upholstery foam or something in there. So yeah, there's a, the lightness of it is good. But the size and the slight frailty at these pieces makes it hard to deal with, to be honest. But yeah, It's like the ultimate. You get a finished product and IKEA thingy, because you can rebuild more things. Like, what are you so using all this styrofoam for? Mostly for shipping styrofoam, actually, sir. Yeah. The problem with styrofoam is that it's got a pretty hard surface. It's gonna possibly scrape the paint off this thing. Oh, that's the wrong brush. Where's the brush? Where's the brush I'm looking for? Oh, it's right next to me. Hello, brush. I don't want to have like a whole solid of this light. I want it to be splotchy so it looks old and worn. Turning to old ultramarine blue colors. It would be funny though, taking old styrofoam and ripping it apart and building things with it, and then like buy special cut out styrofoam packaging to send it. That would be kind of hilarious, to be honest, yes. And then with some dirt on this, I don't even think we need to bring out any rust or metals. I think we're just gonna go directly for the dirt. Styrofoam for styrofoam. Because that's how we roll. That's that. If IKEA ever goes into wargaming terrain, they'll just ship you boxes full of their old styrofoam stuff and like an instruction manual on how to make it look like a fort. Ooh, the styrofoam terrain circle is complete. I like that. We're gonna start this process even before all the blue paint is dry, because it's gonna just mix in with it. The underside is already like dark and doesn't really need that much attention, even though it might want the attention. But it's also nice to bring in like another color here, because now we have two different, there's going to be colors mostly on the other side. The terminal is going to have like a screen. I'm going to just do like a green monochrome old time thingy, I think. But most of the color goes there, so it's nice to have some colors on the top as well. more dirt just around. Just very watery. Around the edges, creating some shadows. This is miniature scale, so we can't rely on lights to create all our shadows. Just like with minis, we need to shade things a bit. And of course it's going to be dirty there as well anyway. Dirt is going to collect around the corners and so on, as they do in the real life. This has been pretty efficient and if nothing else very funny painting session. Today I am super psyched and happy how this is turning out. I must admit I am, especially this one, I really like that. I'm gonna have to take one of those nice spinny photos, so this is one as well. Put it on the old spinny table, because otherwise it's gonna be so many pictures for Instagram. It's just easier to have one little clip that spins around. This corner is not so pretty though, so before today is over, the mission is to solve that, I think. It looks like somebody has painted things with a brush in there. Thin layer of dirted down the grey paint, and then we can go in when this is dry to fix that up. There's a little bit of white shining through in some places and stuff like that, but that's for the detail. Ooh, what a nice miss. The bottom of the pipes is just up against the wall, so let's at least get some brown and blacks in there so it's not so bright when you look in there. Now I got all the paint on the table, but that will be dry until tomorrow, and I'm not even working at this bench tomorrow, so that's okay. Because I have so many things standing on the bit of masonite I usually use under my when I'm painting. But this table is also built to take a beating, and then these chipboards are super easy to remove and they're super cheap to buy, so I'm not gonna go, oh no, my table. It's meant to take a beating and then being replaced. That's just how it is. Sorry, table. I know it's a hard life for you. I am so sorry, table. Well, I'm not actually. It's your purpose in life. You are achieving purpose. Let's just close that up. Alright. So what do we got to show for our almost 5-hour stream? Well, this is what we got. We have those to do. We have that to do. We have some detailing there to do. There's going to be a lot of detailing. We need a menu. We need to make a really small menu. The computer parts and all the stuff and things. But otherwise, dramatic drive-by thingy. Let's see how it looks. There's my favorite part, by the way, if you missed that. But I'm also starting to really like this part. It's a bit bright on this side though, so we'll fix that as well. Take a little rat model or something and put in there maybe. So yeah, we started out, and this today, this was styrofoam when we started 4.5 hours ago. This was just styrofoam and plastic bits. And now it's soon to be Rat Burgers and Company or whatever. It's gonna be ever. Rich's Delicious Rats. Delicious Rat is a pretty good name though, I guess. There's gonna be some dust and gravel around all the edges up here. Some odd newspaper of leaflets and stuff lying around, like all the small details. Yeah, mostly. Oh, I need to paint a little bit behind this pipe, I think. But we are mostly done. Some of these pipes, like this pipe, is really funny because it, even in like this with all the wash, it actually looks kind of moist. It's like a leaky pipe or something, and that's why everything is rusty, of course, because there's a lot of moisture in here. So that's 5 hours. Well, let's say 4.5 hours since I took a little break. That's how that went with that. Are we happy with? Yeah, we're happy with this actually. It's a bit shiny, but we can put some dull coat on there, and yeah. But you know what? That's close enough to the 5-hour mark for me anyway, because there's no idea to start on a new sort of segment. I'm happy we got to a almost finished state on the base painting. Yeah, I'm super happy with how this is coming out. Actually, I'm not even gonna try to be modest about it. I am super happy how this is turning out. It's just amazing. So, and I am thinking, even who is online, I'm thinking I'm still gonna toss you all over to brush. I'm guessing a bunch of you might even be there already as well. Of course, we could go to Jan as well, I guess. But I want. Oh, sorry, not hitting the camera. But I kind of want to hang out at Brushes for a while I have a sandwich and then go home. So I'm doing that. Just loading things up, and it's not a quick process on this computer. Come on. Here we go. Thank you. Right. It's been a fantastic day. Thank you again, Mel, for the gifted subs and resubs. Thank you for the new follows, everybody who followed. And tomorrow, 2 o'clock, same time, we will be continuing the project Death Dread by starting the build of the 3rd Death Dread for my Orc army. That grate looks really cool. Looks really good on screen though. No, I'm not easily distracted. Shut up, you are. Yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna continue that same time, same place, of course. And yeah, thank you everybody for once again making it a super fun day for me to do some work and hanging out with a whole bunch of awesome people. Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna have a sandwich first because I'm hungry. I don't want to walk homewards in the hunger. There we go. There it is. There's the brush. Kicking off the raid. Yeah, and if you come up with any questions when I'm not on stream, we're probably gonna be in at least one stream together anyway, or just send me a message anyway if you have any question that you come up with afterwards. Thank you everybody for today. We are going to the ended screen because we are ended. Thank you everybody so very much.